Peace, power and souls to activate the F1. Back through the cyberverse. We had some technical difficulties, but we still moving forward. Give me 1 second so I can share it to the council. 1 sec. Yes, peace, power, and souls. Activate F1, man. Back to the cyberverse. And this topic is going to be a real quick topic. I got stuff I got to do today, so tonight. So, break it down to black inventions. Break it down to black inventions. So when you're dealing with you know, peanut butter, the internet, all that stuff, man, that was what they did was they tapped into the upper dimensions for that time being. They didn't stay there. They tapped in for that time being. They didn't stay there. They came back down to this 3-dimensional realm. And this is the consistency level. The consistency level of keeping everything moving forward, man. The consistency level has to stay consistent. Yeah, they came down here, man. And you know, they tapped in for a hot moment. They tapped in for a hot moment. They were like, oh shit. So now you dealing with the Futurtarians, man. We ain't playing no games with nobody, man. We're gonna keep shit moving forward. We're gonna keep the council move forward. Oh, excuse me, United Futurtarians. We're just gonna keep everything moving forward, man, because ain't nothing else. Ain't nothing else on the planet, man. People think that there's something else on the planet, and there's not. That's the sad part, man. Like people really think that there's something else on the planet. I'm like, there is nothing else. You could listen to every teacher. You could listen to every teacher on the internet, every teacher on the cyberverse, man. Everything's going to come back to us. Everything's going to come back to us. So just dealing with all the inventions that dealing with our ancestors, all the inventions that they came out with, they tapped into the upper dimensions for a moment. Where they fell at, they didn't stay up there. That's where they fell at. They didn't stay up there. They were supposed to be consistently tapped into that frequency. They got complacent. They made you know, what dealing with the stoplight, dealing with peanut butter. They went up there for a minute and then they just gave up. Why do you think the way the shit is right now? Just look at society right now. Just dealing with the golden beans, right? In society, just look at how it is right now. They gave up. It is what it is, man. That's why they wasn't in power. That's why all those technologies and all that stuff that they came up with, the Ethernet, the internet, peanut butter, the stoplight, all that stuff. Why ain't they in power? Oh, don't worry, I'll wait. Why ain't they in power? You done came up with all these ideas that was futuristic, right? But you still wasn't in power. All your generation is still getting fucking manipulated by society. Your whole generation is getting manipulated by society. Even dealing with the current state, dealing with the cyberverse on the current state, man, it's like, dude, they're not going to get this shit. And it's starting to make my head hurt, like, because there is nothing else on the planet. The fuck is there? There's nothing else. You got these cats on the cyberverse right now that are teaching They're teaching, they're talking about this, talking about that, talking about, it's like, what the fuck for? Y'all ain't trying to link up. Y'all ain't trying to, it's over with for them, man. It's a wrap for them, man. You might as well get the casket out, get the flowers, get the pallbearers, get the damn preacher, get the motherfucking hearse, all that shit. Because there is nothing else when you're dealing with futuristic mind power. That's it, man. Intel over everything. Intel over everything. There is nothing else. And now that we moving forward, we back on the planet. And it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey mentally. It's been a long journey just dealing with millenniums. Light speed and all that stuff, man. It's been a long journey because now that these videos are going to start circulating, now there's no more excuses. There is no more excuses, man. All you cats on the internet that's teaching, man, you just have to just sit down. Sit the fuck down. Go do your household. Go do your business. Go do your whole family shit and let the big dogs move shit forward. Cause y'all ain't moving shit forward. Y'all ain't moving shit forward, man. And a lot of you cats that's on the East Coast right now, man, good luck with that shit. Cause good luck with that shit, man. There's a whole fucking, man. Because this shit's gonna move forward regardless. It's gonna move forward regardless. We're not even talking about, man, you cannot kill a soul. You cannot kill mind power. You can't. How the fuck you don't even control souls. You control everything else on the planet but not a soul. You can't control that. So all these cats on the cyberverse, man, they finished. It's a wrap. It's over with, man. Bow the fuck down and let the planet move forward. This is not rocket science. What y'all talking about? Y'all still talking about old ass shit, pulling up. No, it's not rocket science, man. The inventions that our ancestors came up with, now we taking that shit and we moving it to Intel. We moving the inventions into Intel. And that's where we're moving to. They're like, oh yeah, well, you know, all this stuff that's been put in place right now, it happens for a reason. Because now you have to have people come back from the fucking future to tell you motherfuckers what the fuck is going on. And what's going to happen to the world leaders. What they going to do. When they know that their time's up, when their reign's done, what they going to do? They're going to go to war. They're going to go to war. While we're going to be sitting over here, while the FUTURTARIANS going to be sitting over here in the cut. Coming over here, man, you better leave us alone. Leave us alone, man. We'll fuck around, drone strike your ass. Simple as that. And they just still don't get it, man. Intel over everything. Mind power over everything. Now these people walking around and playing, man. They said they still talking about Ukraine, Russia, and all that shit. It's like, man, that's what they supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do, man. When they know that they're done, this is what they do. This is what they do when they know they're done. There's nothing else to do. What else is there to do? Like, it's like, okay, I'm done. Either I bow down or I just go out in fucking rage. Shit ain't nothing new, man. We've been going through this shit for millenniums. For millions and millions of fucking years, man. We've been going through this shit for millions of years. Everybody thinking, oh, well, no, there is nothing else, man. Going back to the topic, why the black inventions will turn into intel, consistent intel. It's everything. Why do you think that everything that just look at all the inventions within the last 7, 8, 9 decades? Peanut butter, fucking stoplight, the internet, the ethernet. Y'all thought, see, where they failed at, where our ancestors failed at is they didn't stay up there. They came up there, tapped in, and then they fell down. And it is what it is. That's the reality of shit. People think that this shit is random. It's not. Now the Futurtarians came back from the future. We like putting everything on the forefront. Now everybody's like, oh shit, what's going on? This, oh, what the hell? Oh, yeah. It is what it is, man. While y'all worried about Russia and Ukraine, I know one thing about Russia and Ukraine. They better stay over there with that bullshit. You come over here, we're going to drone strike your motherfucking ass, man, from a straight satellite. Bow. It's going to be a wrap. See, when people talk like this, because there is nothing else. There is nothing else on this fucking planet but Intel. That's it. Then when you're dealing with the regular society, just moving around, talking to the Futurtarians, man, just moving around in regular society, man, you dealing with these people, man, they're so cocky, and they're so full of shit. They don't understand the mental chain of command. There is a mental chain of command. They still thinking on a physical realm, on a money realm. There is a mental chain of command that everybody has to follow suit. That's how the planet is going to fucking move forward. That's it. The planet is going to move forward dealing with the mind chain of command. That's it. Nobody give a fuck about y'all's money, y'all resources, none of that shit, man. Motherfuckers talking about resources and money because they forget that they have a soul. They always, man, these people be on a, man, cyberverse and on the internet, man, they always forget they have a soul. Nigga, fuck that shit. You're gonna die. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna die. Everybody else gonna die on the planet. But they forget they have a soul because now the Futurtarians is back, man. Man, I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are on the fucking planet. I don't give a fuck if they had a hierarchy. I don't give a fuck if they took an oath. None of that shit. Ain't nothing else. I'll stand and die for this shit. I'm not even fucking playing around no more, man. I will die for this shit. Because there is nothing fucking else. You know, sat around, you done watched all the little TV shows and this. Focus on your household. Let the big dogs focus on the big shit, and you focus on your fucking household and your relationships and all that bullshit. And let the big dogs do the big shit. Because a lot of these people that's on the planet right now, they ain't even mentally genetically modified, man. They even step in this circle. They're not. It's like, are you fucking like? One thing about being born over here in the United States of America. One thing about being born over here and understanding, standing that your life is a purpose. Your life serves a purpose. It's just not random. Either you're gonna have a purpose of your life or you're not. It's just that fucking simple, man. All these teachers that's on the internet, man, going back to the topic. We're gonna go back to the topic, man, because you already know Futuritarians, man. I'll be everywhere. Going back to the topic, right? The black inventions, man. Look at all the brothers, and the sisters that invented all this shit, moving the goddamn planet forward. Look at that. Now it's moving to Intel. It's going to be consistent energy, consistent shit that's going to just keep moving. All these people on the goddamn planet, man, they already know, man. Like, they already know, man. They already know, man. We back. It's over with. It's a wrap. It was a good reign for y'all. I tip my hat off. I tip my hat to y'all. You know what I mean? Tip my hat to y'all. It was a good reign, man. But the ball's been sitting on the field for 8 decades. Nobody picked it up. No, my fault. They picked it up. They didn't run out the fucking stadium. They still kept playing the fucking game. They still kept playing the game and shit. Like, listen to the referee's rules. There ain't no rules over here, man. It's evolution, Intel, and that's it. People are like, oh, who you think, man? Because there is nothing else. We done been through the doctrines. We done been through religion. We done been through organizations. We done been through all this shit. Then we figured out there is nothing else. Peace, Prawn Souls to activated AF1. I got the brother Zarez on the council seat. I'm going to chime you in real quick, brother. I'm going to chime you in right now. Oh, he's tapped in. All right, Peace, Prawn Soul. We got the brother Zarez in the building. Peace, Prawn Soul.
Yes, wonderful live, wonderful breakup by Brother AF1. Check him out every Monday and Tuesday here on Podbean as FUTURTARIANS Activation Channel on Monday and Tuesday at 8:30 CST. That's every Monday and Tuesday. Don't forget now. So with today's topic, Black Inventions into Future Intel. Yes, like I would like to highlight the point that you brought up. You know, they had all these inventions, and would you say the previous would you say the last several decades before we come into this particular era in this stage right now, you know, so you have all these powerful inventions that came up, the car, you know, peanut butter, you know, all these different inventions that came up, the stoplight, again, the internet, etc., all these so-called inventions that we created when we were under that whole under the title calling ourselves Black. But as we move forward, like what everyone said, you know, how come there was a pause? Why was there a stop? Why? How come we aren't, would you say, far more evolved than where they laugh after that? So it's like, again, it's like somebody, you know, we ultimately dropped the baton, or, you know, after a certain point, we just gave up and said, fuck it, you know, this is all we, you know, are good at as far as producing. But again, most people couldn't push further forward because, again, you know, we were able to tap into the fourth dimension at certain periods of times. But again, the whole consistency, you know, there wasn't any, you know, consistent would you say further staying tapped in versus, you know, they were tapping that nail, but they weren't, you know, solidified as far as being tapped in fully, like how we're tapped in. So moving forward, the Intel has further, you know, replaced as far as the inventions, but as far as us, you know, being able to receive Intel, you know, that's the future. For them making inventions, that was their future. Being able to, you know, make these, you know, evolutionary, you know, inventions to further move the planet forward or move things forward in that state. And, you know, there we have right now, or here we have right now, where we're going to keep pushing that even further by raising the bar way higher. Okay. Yes. You know, when it comes to making inventions, but again, when it comes to bringing forth the Intel is the unseen, the unseen that's ultimately going to, you know, further make itself seen to those who are, you know, willing to, you know, again, move and again be aligned with that one frequency, like we're always talking about. You know, once you come into a certain mind frame and the mindset, like, okay, you know, there isn't anything else out here, then it's like, okay, you know, what else is there as far as outside of Intel? Again, there isn't anything outside of Intel as far as us as activated ones, walking ones, further pulling in, again, this whole next world, pulling in and receiving blueprints to construct and build this next utopian as we move forward as one's walking one. So again, Black Inventions into Future Intel, because again, you know, the Black Inventions were ultimately a stepping stone for us to further be able to naturally stay in tune or naturally stay tapped in to the intel that is, being streamed, being what you say fed down here. So, and then ultimately again, we're creating our own, creating our own intel that is further being registered and picked up, or those echoes of our evolutionary shifting is being picked up in these upper and outer dimensions. So again, even now people feel this shift, people feel this energy, but again, you have all these so-called geniuses on the planet, but even with them being on the planet, being just a genius, that's not enough to move the planet forward. You can have 1,000 geniuses, 1,000,000 geniuses on the planet, but they can't fuck with us when it comes to being in tune with the intel. And that's a reality. That's a fact. Again, spitting and basically reciting information, being good at that versus actually receiving what's next is a totally different level. It's totally different. Because we're shifting things in these upper and outer dimensions that again go beyond and go outside of what's here. Again, going outside and beyond the concepts of concepts here in this dimension. So we're further pushing, we're further pulling next the intel, and again, the intel is more important. It's always been intel over information. So when we were, as so-called black people, we were highly in tune with the information as far as reading, as far as books and all that. Yes, we were very studious people, but now that we've shifted into a whole different paradigm, we don't need to actually read books. We don't need books called just, hey, take your antennas out the fucking book and stick them into the atmosphere. Yep. Again, if your mind is not burnt out, or those receptors in your mind are not burnt out, then again, it's easy to hear what we're saying. It's easy to be like, yeah, I'm receiving different images, or I've received visions of the future or whatnot. But again, for those who can't do that, it's like, yeah, because y'all are mentally burnt out. Mm-hmm. Caught up in the whole, again, the mental loop process as far as the internet, that's your life, that's your God, the cyberverse, Google, Siri, Alexa, that's your God, and that's pretty much it. Yep. That's pretty much it. There is no going, for you all going past that. So we are ones walking with ones, walking with ones. Shout out to Brother AF1, wonderful topic, wonderful live. So you can take over. But yeah, ultimately just putting it on the forefront again. The intel is what's next. We used the black inventions, like I said before. We were highly in tune and very studious with the book information, the book knowledge. But then again, we've taken it to a whole next level where we don't even have to read books anymore. We don't need downloads. We're putting forth uploads. We're tapped into the uploads. We're extracting uploads next now. So other than that, further pushing the conversation forward, Brother F1, you can take it over.
Okay. We got the Brother Cosmos in the building. Cosmos, did you want to tap in or touch on anything?
Yeah, I want to tap in a little bit.
Okay.
It's a great topic, great discussion, great topic, Brother F1. Yeah, from Black Inventions into Future Intel. Yeah, well, from what I've been building off of what y'all been saying, as well as this topic, having to do with Black inventors, the past, having to do with the past, from being black to shifting to activated solar beings, you know what I mean? From basically, those inventions that they made, like let's say the light, as well as peanut butter. Those are for the let's say the lower dimensions, I'll say, because they're morally on the physical aspect, but as well as they had let's say propelled people's minds, or the so-called black people toward that concept of being, you know what I mean? Because when people obtain black, or whatever the case may be, I don't know, they were trying to pull or propel and rise from another setback or past perspective of being type shit. But anyway, I'm trying to say is, going from making inventions having to do with this paradigm or a past paradigm, the Intel, into Intel, and it's for the future, it's for the new world, you know what I mean? That's some type shit.
New world order on the ass.
You know what I mean? Actually pushing ourselves further, actually making things, creating what is necessary. All forms of Intel, or forms of Intel for the new generation, as well as for ourselves to continue to evolve everything and base everything off of purpose, I guess. You know what I mean? So pulling in and creating things for a greater purpose, more extended outlook and reason for things. You know what I mean? So I just want to touch on that a little bit.
Great breakup by the brother. That's the Brother Cosmos. And we're gonna stay on the subject, because this subject is, when you're looking at all the inventions, man, that our ancestors have made. Look at all the inventions that we made, our ancestors. You thought it was gonna stop there? Y'all thought it was gonna stop there. Y'all thought it was gonna stop just at the cyberverse, the peanut butter, the internet, the stoplight, whatever else that our ancestors had made. Man, they did that, man, because everything is moving. Now everything is moving faster. I tell people the internet came out for multiple reasons. Now everything is moving faster. Everything is just moving faster. People going to have to catch up. Either you're going to be mustard or you're going to be ketchup. You might even be mayonnaise. You really don't want to be that shit. But dealing with mustard and ketchup, because now everything is being put on the forefront. Everything is being put on the table. It's like when you go to somebody's house and they're feeding you, they're like, oh yeah, we got macaroni, we got this, we got that, everything's on the damn table. It's the same thing dealing with Intel, man. Everything is going to be on the table. Not all the Intel, but the Intel that's supposed to be on the table. The Intel that's supposed to be on the table, because you're going to have some Intel, man. I'm just using the analogy of like coming to somebody's house and they feed you. So I'm using that as, analogy. Like, they might pour their meat out, they might pour their food out or whatever, but then they still might have a stash in the cut. They might have a little stash in the cut. They might have like, some smoked turkey legs or something that they ain't even put on the table. And this is what we're moving to, man. Man, there is nothing else, man. Dealing with, man. Look at Russia and Ukraine right now. People like, oh well, you gonna try to use Russia and Ukraine as, no, I'm using it because it's fucking reality. That's what the hell is going on over there. Them motherfuckers is over there. You got Russia, you got Ukraine. Them motherfuckers is over there dying. It's war, global war. People still think this is a fucking game, and they think that, especially dealing with our people, man. I'm like, dude, y'all was born over here for a reason. If you didn't acknowledge that shit, that's your fault. You still worried about motherfucker going to school and you still worried about going to school, working your job, this and that, because in the back of their head, man, they're not in the future. We worried about linking up. That's what we worried about. Because we know in the future, man, ain't gonna be shit. Look at the fucking world right now. Look at the world right now, man. Look at Russia. Look at Ukraine. It's like, man, y'all got so many fucking signs. Look at CV. The jab. And they still ain't getting it. Oh, man, oh my God, my head fucking hurts. But just going back to the topic, man, dealing with the black inventions, man, because dealing with black people, man, inventions always came here, man. They always had to follow suit, man, because everybody else that's on the planet, when you're dealing with moving shit forward, they're all parasites. They're all leeches and vultures. They just have to accept their role. You have to accept your role, man, and just bow the fuck down, because when you're dealing with, oh, okay, let's do this, Futuritarians, we finna do this. Who invented jazz? Who invented rock? Who invented hip hop? You want me to keep going? We invented rock, and these people love that shit. They on that rock and roll shit like we invented that shit. Go look at what was the other shit? Okay, I said jazz. Oh, the blues. Who invented the blues? Now they want to put their stamp. They want to put their stamp on it, but that shit is tainted. Now you want to put your stamp on it. That shit tainting. It's not original. It's not original, man. Now y'all want to put your stamp on rock and roll, jazz, hip hop, R&B. What was the other one? Oh, rock and roll. We invented rock and roll. We invented all this shit. And they still just don't want to bow the fuck down, man. That's the sad part, man. Hey, Zarez, man, peace, Prime. So I'm going to let Zarez chime in.
Say no, they just don't want to acknowledge where the power has always been, which has been us. And even the people who still calling themselves black people, they don't even understand that calling themselves that it basically says that they have no power, because we're always saying if you call yourself black, then you're saying that you mentally are not activated and your soul's not activated, because again, it's just a frequency in general. Again, seeing that being of that ultimately was just a stepping stone for us to become into the activated intelligence next now. Mm-hmm. So again, we went from being black people to being activated intelligent souls next now. So that's just, again, the forward evolutionary stages that we had to go through as far as, being more so grounded and being more so driven into further producing and further shifting things into this hyper activational way of processing as far as our souls and minds and the planet, as far as being operated and being controlled by soul beings only. Okay, no more again needing to have validation and again having somebody hold our hands anymore, because again y'all want power, then fucking let's take the power then. Again, or matter of fact, let's just acknowledge that we're the power and just move off of that.
Yep.
Acknowledgement and taking action. Again, double A, triple A, quadruple A.
Yep.
The list goes on and on and on, dealing with these what you say, different words, dealing with the A as far as what you say, moving shit forward as far as us. So it's very simple at this point. Black inventions, again, into future intelligence, because that's ultimately what where we're headed to and where we're at currently. Extended intelligence. Again, even when it comes to our future inventions that we create, as far as to again shift the planet even further. So we have things that we already have, just sitting, in that vault, waiting to be, pushed out into the world. But only time will tell. Only time will tell, because we are not moving on emotions and we're not reactionary people. So we're actionary people taking action as activation is next now. So that's really important, because again, we're up here playing chess. Like I said, I told Brother F1, we're up here playing classical chess, and it's checkmate. Checkmate.
Checkmate.
For all those, who really try to,
it's over with, bro.
Or, see otherwise.
Yep.
Because again, if y'all see otherwise, then again, show the intel, and show us a different way. Show us a more feasible way to move to the future. Because if y'all can do that, then again, you're supposed to be over here with us any goddamn way.
Yep.
But if you can't, then again, shut the fuck up and let's move forward. Shut the fuck up and let's move things forward. Because we're tired of, again, this talking loud by all these so-called people who say that they're of the future, but they're not really saying anything. Like I said, y'all, and for those ones who are out here representing the future, quote unquote, again, let's see this quantum, let's see this major shift. Let's see what y'all have in store for the planet, because again, if it's a whole bunch of I don't know, or if it's all of this, again, I don't know, versus okay, let's further find a solution instead of I don't know. How about, again, we're not the ones saying we don't know. We're saying, okay, let's find the fucking solution. The solution is a solution. The solution is the solution to, again, this further unbalance on the planet. But again, we're stabilizing the planet, because if it wasn't for us, again, this shit wouldn't even be happening right now. So again, going back to us as, being the root or being the progenitors of this, forward evolution again. So again, why aren't things way more advanced than when they are right now? Again, what's the excuse now? There's no more excuses. Again, once again this further immersion of again the intelligence on the planet is over with. Again, once we're done installing this this fourth foundational coding in this current state is over with. As time goes on, all that's going to be faded out. All of that, again, information, the BS, again, belief systems, all of that is going to be faded out, faded away, or faded out, or erased by the intelligence. Because again, there's no more, needing to, because again, for the ones who are, even inventors to this day, all they're doing is basically, doing upgrades on basically upgrades on things that are already here. So that's not really the future. Upgrading something, basically creating a whole new revamped version of what's already here. No, we're talking about moving things forward on the planet. So that means new and next things. So brother, if you want to go ahead, peace, power, salutation.
Yeah, wonderful breakup by the brother Zareas. And it's just when you're dealing with, okay, because I always go back to soul, because the soul is eternal. I always go back, we all gonna die. We all gonna fucking die. Where's your soul at? Where is it at? That's why I keep telling people, man, there is nothing else on the planet, man. There is nothing else. Dealing with our people, man, dealing with the ancestors that came up with these new solutions and shit. Well, yeah, they failed. We failed too. We failed fucking too. They failed too. Because they didn't stay up there. They went up there, got them a patent, got them some money, and they fell back down to the third dimensional realm. Ain't nobody exempt from this shit. We're not exempt from this shit. It is what it is. Moving forward, moving the whole planet forward. Because when you're looking at this three-dimensional realm on this planet, look at what's going on right now. People still think, like, just even dealing with the CV, the JB, they just think this shit's just like, oh yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just, it is what it is, this and that. Like, no, man, this is a warning from the future. That's what this is. Nobody's exempt from this shit. We ain't either. When people start looking on that aspect, now dealing with, going back to the topic, I'm going to go back to the topic, man. The black inventions, now dealing with our ancestors and the black inventions, man, we moving that shit into consistent intel. They tapped in for a minute, but they tapped out. It is what it is. They tapped in, but they tapped out. So you could put all them on a pedestal, right? Stoplight, peanut butter, all that shit, internet, put them all on a pedestal. That's fine. I understand acknowledging the ancestors. We acknowledge the ancestors, but we focus on the ascendants from the future. That's the difference between black and futuritarian. That's the difference. Because we acknowledge that shit. We acknowledge what they did, man. Everybody that was like moving shit forward on the planet, they served their purpose. But now when you're dealing with the top of the mind frame, there is nothing else. And I don't care what teacher they are on the internet, what teacher, what organization leader, or anything like that, man, there is nothing else. It's not. Been through all that stuff, been through the doctors, been through just dealing with the cyberverse for years. Been on the cyberverse for what, 13, 14 years? Going through this teacher, that teacher, this teacher, that teacher, this teacher, that teacher, this teacher, that teacher. And figured out, man, ain't shit about, there's nothing else but Intel, man. Soul activation and Intel, that's it. And now when people actually look at that shit and they actually try to process it through their processor in their mind, some people's processors burnt out. Some of the people that's on the planet right now, their processors already burnt out. They have to be processed by what? Society. They got to be processed by society. Society has to give them something to actually trigger their mind to keep them moving forward throughout the day. It's like that one show, The Breakfast Club. I'm like, I know this one cat, man. He listens to The Breakfast Club. I'm like, because he's so metafied. It's like, man, for what? They got an agenda too. You're gonna make their agenda your agenda? People are gone, man. They're fucking mentally fucking gone. Oh shit. Hey, peace, power, souls to activated AF1. Go ahead, Zarez, if you want to close out. I'm finna get off here, man. If you want to close out, go ahead.
Okay, before I close, Brother Cosmo, do you want to say anything before we close?
Just a little bit. Yeah. Let's say, having to do with the black inventions, I guess just staying on the topic a little bit or ending with the topic or close. I'm gonna bail out with the topic.
Cosmos ain't got no damn sense.
Anyway, yeah. I was thinking also, say, having to do with black inventors, you know what I mean? Whatever. I was curious. I was just thinking, like, what crossed my mind was basically when inventors, how these people push what's necessary. So to keep people's mind loop. Now the black inventors, not to come in nobody's neck here, but, at that time, I feel like, they put a lot of black inventions, out to put people in that paradigm to say, okay, yeah, you do have potential on this aspect as a black person, quote unquote type shit, but, trying to hold, basically limit them, just like they promote the same shit in this time or promote certain shit in this time, like it's a big thing, but anyway, moving forward, just continuing to, just complete this path and complete everything and moving in sync, the synchronicity, and the intelligence as well as evolution. But yeah, peace, power, soul, activation, Futuritarians. 1.
Okay, yes, wonderful wonderful breakup by Brother Cosmo. And yeah, for my last few remarks, I would just like to say, yeah, the future lies in intelligence. So it's always been intel over information. So for the ones who still keep trying to tell, who keep pushing books in your face, who keep trying to, do all of that besides let you naturally become one or in sync with the NIs. And we're always saying that the books are part of the AI. They were the original, again, the history books all were the original AI. And when it comes to allowing yourself to naturally come into one symbiotic synchronicity, when it comes to tapping into the NIs, it ultimately becomes, these books become irrelevant because, again, you're operating off of your own intellectual ability to pull and receive from these extended spaces and places. Some people might think of it like I kind of would give an example of it being basically like how you have an iCloud, like, iClouds or Google Clouds. So that space, that unseen space where you are able to extract, or these unseen spaces beyond our current space for us to further immerse our souls and minds into, is shit. You talk about, I don't understand why would these so-called black inventors, not trying to, throw shade at them or anything, but it's like, why would you want to fucking, like, not stay tapped in, though? Why? Think about how much advanced we would be. That's why it's up to us to push further intelligence, soul intelligence, next now. Right. That's why it's important that we have to enforce that, or we have to be, as these guiding luminaries, again, carving out a whole next path. And again, being the guiding luminaries or being pioneers to further bring those right ones into, aiding in this further massive global intelligence movement. Again, it's a global soul intelligence movement next now. So, peace, power, soul activation to us. We are one. Check us out tomorrow, on Podbean with the Next 2K radio show. I'll be hosting it with Brother AF1 and Brother Cosmo. So it's, back and forth. Synchronized Intell next now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So again, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Moving forward, I'm here on Podbean at 8:30 CST as once walking. So Brother AF1, you can go ahead and take it over. Peace, power, soul activation.
Yep, just gonna keep moving forward. There ain't nothing else. on the planet, man. Look at the state of emergency that the planet's in right now. All these people that's in the hierarchies, they know that shit. They know it's over. They ain't gonna tell y'all that shit. You definitely ain't gonna tell y'all. They know it's fucking over, man. This shit cannot keep rolling the way it's been rolling. It has to alter and shift. When you're dealing with the next inventions, man, dealing with our ancestors, when they was coming out with all these inventions, the peanut butter, the fucking stop, man, they served their purpose for that time. That was their time to serve that purpose. Now you're dealing with consistent intel. Motherfuckers is going to keep rolling. We just going to keep one gear go. With Charlie Sheen, you know, they took a lot of Charlie Sheen's videos off the internet because Charlie Sheen was actually warning y'all. Go back. A lot of his videos is off the internet, but go back and if you go on YouTube or something like that, he might have a couple of videos on there. But they took a lot of his because he was warning his people. Charlie Sheen was warning his people, the Caucasians. He said, "Man, it is over." This was 10, 13 years ago. He's like, "Man, dude, it is a wrap. It's over. We're done." And it was so funny because I'm sitting there listening. I'm sitting there watching this stuff like, damn. Then I went on the internet and I went to go look for it. They're not even on the internet no more. They're not even on the cyberverse no more. Oh, how ironic is that? Because he was warning his own people. Like, man, look, man, just, it's over. Like, 1 year ago, he warned them 13, 12 years ago. And people still think that this shit is a fucking game. That's why I'm just man, my head hurts so fucking bad right now, man, because I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, you want the planet to go green. You want solar energy. You want shit to move forward. You want motherfuckers to really have mind power intellectually to move the fucking planet forward. Like, we sitting right here. We're sitting right here. Oh, I'm not going to acknowledge that though, because, you know, that's the whole, man, that's the whole problem. This is the problem on the planet. How do you fix a problem, man? You got to put the solution in order. That's how you fix a problem. You put the real solution in order. Because every time you water and you put band-aids on this shit, the shit's going to still be fucked up. Damn, my head hurt, man. Peace, Prime Souls, to activated AF1, fire live, man. The black inventions into futuristic intel. And, you know, shout out to our ancestors, man. The ones that came here, you know what I mean? Shout out to the ancestors, man. They did their thing. They had to do their thing at that particular time. Now, you know what I mean? I told y'all, man, the ball's been sitting on the football field for fucking 8 decades. And nobody picked the ball up. No, my fault. They picked the ball up, but they still kept playing the game. Should have picked that ball up and ran clean out the stadium with that motherfucker. Have everybody looking at you like, where are you going? Yup, so the black inventions, man, to futuristic intel. And we're going to keep moving forward, man. And, you know, there's really nothing else on the planet. You know, not trying to be cocky, because people think that we cocky and shit, that like we the shit, but it's not even about being cocky. It's the simple fact that we know ain't shit else. So you can take that cockiness shit. That's how you feel, whatever. That's why no teachers come over here. That's why anybody on the internet that's on the cyberverse, they don't come over here because they already know, man, that's suicide. You cannot fuck with intel. You cannot fuck with the future. Do we want them to come over here? No, not really. Really don't. Like, care less. Whatever you do, whatever floats your boat, you come over here, you better be humble. Because you fucking with intel, man. Already had to body one teacher. And anybody else can get bodied too. So peace, prime souls, to activated AF1, fire live. Anybody want to close out? Just click in. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll just say a couple things. So just check us out tomorrow, here on Podbean as the Next Nuclear Radio Show, same time, 8:30 CST, and a wonderful live and wonderful breakup by the council. We are ones walking with ones as Solar Activated Council, the one and only council, not the Black Council, but the Solar Activated Council next now. So peace, power, and soul, and activation.
Go ahead, Cosmos. I see you.
Peace, power, soul, activation.
Yeah, I got you.
Facts. I just want to say that, and no more. We're not black. You feel me? You gotta get that out there. I haven't said that enough. We are not black. Okay, we're not black people. We're not even human. You feel me? So we got to scratch that shit out. So yeah, peace, power, and soul. Let's keep moving forward and extending and evolving.
Wonderful breakup by the councils, the activated AF1. We are the United Futurtarian Council, man. You already know, man. Go, hey, I'm gonna give y'all some homework. This for everybody that might chime in or hear it on YouTube. If you hear it on YouTube or on the Brothers Reyes' channel, go to YouTube and type in United Nations and start following that. And that's all I'm going to say. Peace, power, and souls, activated AF1. And we'll be back live tomorrow. We'll be back live tomorrow, man. Wednesday, 8:30 Central Time. Done with the Brothers Reyes' channel. Next Nuclear, Podbean. And yeah, so peace, power, and soul.